My name's Briony Goddard, and I do a lot of Metis beading and leather work. I've always been fascinated by the woodland floral beading. I started off, as every kid does, doing loom work and things as a kid. I get the designs mostly out of my head. I never repeat a design. Each one is unique to the person who requires it. I do a lot of research as far as the historical background of beads and designs. When I first started learning how to do the beadwork, apart from the actual technical technique, I was studying a lot of the museum collections so that I got an idea of general designs. One of the books that has been invaluable is Metis Legacy. It does give an awful lot of history as well as pointing out a lot of the progression of the designs as they come across. Embroidery and quill work were the first ones, and as seed beads became more and more available, the designs became more and more complex. I have one book, it's called Out of the North, and it is museum collections from a lot of the subarctic. The pictures in it are absolutely fantastic, and the advantage of having a museum book is it gives sizes, it gives colors, it gives origins, so that I know exactly which areas are typical of designs. Typically the beadwork, Metis beadwork, was done on smoke tanned or brain tanned leather, which is nice and soft to work with. Commercial leather that we get now is much too difficult to bead, but it was also very traditional to bead on wool once it became available, and it's much easier to work with. So I work on wool and then apply the wool in the construction of the jacket. So the beadwork is done first and then put into the completed jacket. When I start to think about a project, first of all I get an idea of what the customer would like, in this case West Coast. I go through botanical books, museum books to get ideas of stylizing the real flowers, because it's not just the flowers that I need to do, it's the colors and the color balance. So where something might be a really good candidate for a flower, it may not fit in with the rest of what I'm doing. So I start off with a lot of pencil sketches and color ideas, and that progresses into the original sketches that I use for the coat. Beyond the pen and ink drawings, I then trace them onto a soluble plastic that I based onto the wool and start beading through that. At this point, I work with two needles. One is the needle that I thread the beads on. I'm using, again, very old beads. Once I have some of them on the needle, I sort of put this one to one side, take my second needle, hold the beads in place, and then start tacking them down with the second needle and thread. You tack down every 2 beads. The nice thing about this one is that I have complete control of exactly where the needle goes, where the beads go. I can change designs because all the design is going to wash off. It's not actually marked on the fabric. A lot of the flowers are just exactly right to hold beads in place with a finger or your thumb. When this is finished, I simply wash off the plastic. It takes all the markings with it, and you end up with something like this. I do have a website coming up. It's going to be mousetrapclothiers.com, and I do hope that people have a look.